Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glory Srila Prabhupada. I hope you all are well. Welcome you all to His Holy Chandramauli Maharaj's daily call. Today our speaker is His Grace Vrasabh Das Prabhu. Thank you, Rishabh Das Prabhu, for joining the call and having to accept this, giving the talk. As far as I'm aware, today's the subject is Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 15th chapter and 28th verse. Is that correct, Prabhu? Give me a second. I will start and share the screen. Okay.
Do you hear me clear?
Yes, we can hear you, Prabhu. Yeah.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Jai Shri Prabhupada, Jai Gurudev. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Agyanati Brahmasya Ganachana Shlaka Chakshundritam Yarkisya Shri Gurve Namaha. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Text, first canto, chapter 15, text 28. Sanskrit. Sutta Uvacham Evam Chintayato Jishno Krishna Pada Saroruham Sauhardena Shigadena Shantasid Vimalamati. Translation and purpose by Days Stacy Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Sutta Goswami said, thus, being deeply absorbed in thinking of the instructions of the Lord, which were imparted in the great intimacy of friendship, and in thinking of his lotus feet, Juna's mind became pacified and free from all material contamination. Since the Lord is absolute, deep meditation upon him is as good as yogic trance. The Lord is none different from his name, form, quality, pastimes, entourage, and specific actions. Arjuna began to think of the Lord's instructions to him on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Only these instructions began to eliminate the tinges of material contamination in the mind of Arjuna. The Lord is like the sun. The sun's appearance means immediate dissipation, darkness, or ignorance. And the Lord's appearance in the mind of the devotee can at once drive away the miserable ill effects. Lord Chaitanya has therefore recommended constant chanting of the name of the Lord for protection from all contamination of the material world. The feeling of separation from the Lord is undoubtedly because it is in connection with the Lord. It has a specific transcendental effect, which pacifies the mind. Feeling of separation are also sources of transcendental bliss, and they are never comparable to contaminated material feelings of separation. Or the Sanskrit translation. Sutta Uvacha Evam Chintayato Jishno Krishna Pada Saroruham Sauhardena Tigadena Shantasid Vimalamati. Sutta Goswami said, thus being deeply absorbed in thinking of the instructions of the Lord, which were imparted in the great intimacy of friendship, and in thinking of his lotus feet, Arjuna's mind became pacified and free from all material contamination. Ummagyanat Gandasya Ganashina Shalakaya Litnamyana Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha Shichataya Namo Vishtam Saptamyena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Tagamaya Vedanti Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttaparakamanam Shri Guru Vaishnava Shri Rupa Sagrajata Sagunatangitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sekta Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahaganalika Shri Shakam Vitamsham He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinavan Jivatate Gopishla Gopika Kantara Kantara Tantamchani Gauravi Radha Vidana Vishvana Sutari Prana Hari Priye Panchakalpatarubyascha Kalipasindhuvyaya Vacha Pajitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavevo Namo Namaha Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Tale Shimate Chandramauli Swami Namine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Tale Shimate Chandramauli Swami Namine Namaste Saraswate Gurvari Pacharine Vishesha Sattvavari Pashite Shatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhupada Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasati Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I don't see myself though on the camera, unfortunately. But anyway, I hope you see me.
Your voice is breaking, Prabhu. Sorry to interrupt you. Your voice is not clear for some reason.
Uh, is it now better?
Yeah,
Is
let's
it
try.
better?
Let's try. I'm not sure. Let's try it.
Okay. Let me know. I don't know. Uh, okay, let me try like this. Please let me know if it is breaking. So today is Ekadashi, Friday, a really auspicious day, let's say Mother of Devotion, especially for chanting the holy name, the most the most important actually part of uh, our process, and we will come to this good point. First, what is spoke here in this verse? It's speaking of a deep absorption. Deep absorption would actually be equal to yogic trance. Well, sometimes when we say absorption, we think about Krishna, think about here it was actually said about his instructions, Krishna's instructions from Bhagavad Gita, so the teachings. It may there also said about lotus feet of the Lord. So when we're thinking about deeply absorption, we are actually speaking about constant meditation without breakage, without being without being deviated by other things. This is actually the same thing when we are chanting. We are actually deeply trying to be deeply absorbed. So that in this is it 1 hour, 2 hours, we are trying not to break our meditation on the holy name, on hearing the sound of the name. And interestingly, that this deep absorption, the activity what happens is transcendental separation from the Lord. And we will speak more about this, what does it actually mean in practice. And it brings bliss as well. Bliss. There are two aspects that happens to the mind. One is that the mind get purified, and the second is that mind get pacified. It's actually showing that with Krishna consciousness, this is the only way to be satisfied in life. If we are not Krishna conscious, if we are not trying to act all of our activities to so we are performing them. You know, they might look like material, they might look like a regular job, they might look like a general householder or brahmachari things or vanaprastha sannyasi things. But actually, each of these things we are trying to spiritualize. We are trying to, at least if it is not directly, like say Sankirtan, which is direct kind of a service to the Lord. But if we are doing our day-to-day job, if we are having this meditation of that I'm doing this just because of Krishna, then actually this is becoming spiritual. But how can we do this? We have heard so many times offer everything to Krishna, offer everything to Krishna, offer this, offer that, offer your children, offer your job. But why is it so hard for us to do that? Why is it so hard for us to offer everything? Okay, we can maybe one day after a really inspiring lecture, we can maybe that day we are managing to do this. Maybe after some big realizations of studying the Shastra. We can be like, oh, that day, maybe 2 days, maybe 3 days, we are totally absorbed in that. But the thing is that we are kind of always falling back from these aspects because we are constantly being contaminated, materially contaminated in our minds. And one thing, if you noticed, maybe you noticed, and I'm trying to also just be more aware also as well in practice, that today to contaminate your mind is so easy. It's so easy, especially with one crazy device which contaminates our mind constantly, and it's called the smartphone. And even though I'm using it now for to be on this call, but yeah, you have to be aware that the same razor sharp, razor sharp device we are using to listen to calls of Maharaj, to have spiritual sanghas, to maybe watch some inspiring lessons, videos, maybe to look at parikrams. The same device, the same platform that we are using can, and they are trying to contaminate our mind by different advertisements, by different pictures, videos, sounds that are they are yelling at us. You are this body. You are not Krishna's devotee. You are this body, and you should buy our product because then your body feel good, and you feel good, and you happy. Be happy, you happy. It's so easy to get contaminated, and we as devotees we have to be vigilant, vigilant. We are always cautious that what we are all the senses, the only thing they are trying is prasadam. Only thing that we are eating is prasadam. Only thing that we are smelling is prasadam. Only thing that we are touching, I'm not sure if that's possible. And everything that we are seeing is actually something that is reminding you of the sambandha. If you would like to know what is the biggest, what will bring us pure devotional service and what will bring us mixed devotions, which is really easily. We can be devotee 50, 40, 60 years. We can be even a GBC as sannyasa. There is no uh, limitation. There is no safe position. We can be a simple devotee and we can be a pure devotee. We can be a high elevated, well-known, some big shot in Krishna consciousness and be mixed devotee. Of course, I'm not here to evaluate anyone, or do I have the capacity to do this? I just want to make it clear how easy it is to develop through our practice mixed devotion service. It's hard enough to actually develop devotion, and then it will be a pity if it's actually not a pure one, but a mixed one. It's like, oh, come on, my whole life you're trying to be devotees, and then we managed to be um, mixed ones. So, what's the key thing? What's the key thing that we want to be able to develop pure love of God, not mixed love of God? And this is the sambandha. The sambandha is the sambandha of understanding and really, really deeply understanding and not forgetting and imbibing in every our action. Who are we? Who is Krishna? What is Prakriti? And what is the relation? Four of is three of this. It's like actually Bhagavad Gita. The only difference between this Sambandha and Bhagavad Gita is that Bhagavad Gita has time factor as well. And Bhagavad Gita is all about Sambandha. The more you are trying to understand deeply, and the easiest way to understand Sambandha is to say that I don't know Sambandha. You say, yeah, I know Sambandha, yeah, I'm Krishna's part and parcel, but the end of this lecture, I'm satisfying my senses, consciously or unconsciously. So yeah, maybe we theoretically know, but we didn't imbibe. Because interestingly enough, dear devotees, what does Sambandha actually does to us? Which aspects of our subtle body does Sambandha changes? Does Sambandha changes the mind mostly? Does Sambandha changes the intelligence? Or the Sambandha changes something else? Dear devotees, Sambandha means changing our changing our identification. And that means if I was studying a really nice lecture, Bhakti Vigyan Swami. It's called the spiritual crisis. Speaking of how actually all of us we will come to a crisis because changing from one ego to another will result a period of crisis, period of not understanding, not being sure who we are actually. And these are really inspiring, really eye-opening about the ego. Because, until now we are like kind of, don't be ego trip, don't be egoistic. This person is ego this, ego that. But ego is not, it's useful thing. Actually, we need ego. If I ask you, do we have spiritual ego? In spiritual world, do we have ego? No, we don't have ego. We are pure souls. Well, we have. We have spiritual ego. And now we have something called false ego. False ego, it's only false because it's temporary. But in the Vedic times, they were actually building a really strong false ego. You say like, what? That doesn't sound like right thing to do. Strong, false ego. I mean, isn't that like just making it hard for you for spiritual advancement? Actually, no. It's actually making it easier. So, what is false ego? Let's define what ego is. Ego means understanding who we are, what is our position, our duties, and what is our interaction? What is the proper way to interact with seniors, with peers, with juniors? The way how we interact with these three categories define our ego. Think of it. When you come to a new job, let's say Satyabama, you got a new devotee company in really high place, really high level manager. So they come and tell you, Satyabama, you are a manager. So we define you. So this is your working place. This is your task you have to do. This is the persons you're managing. This is your peers, peer managers. This is your superior director, and this is your subordinates that you are managing. You act with them in this way. You act this way, and if you want to contact the director, you have to act this way. You send this, you contact this, you do that. This is actually ego. They are actually building you an ego. Your identification, understanding. It's called dharma. And false ego means to understand your temporary dharma. Temporary dharma. Because on the soul level, we are all equal, of course. There's no difference between me, you, or the ant of the floor. But on the level of activities, of performance, we are so much different. Even if like we have like similar bodies, also even twins are so different, isn't it? So we have to understand our roles. We have to understand who am I in this act of life? What is my position? What is my dharma? And how should I react? How should I act towards my spouse, my children, towards my seniors, mentors, my peers? And also, we have the same thing in spiritual level. Spiritual level. When you go to the spiritual world, again, you have superiors. You have Srimati Radharani, Akisaktis, you have Mother Yashoda, Ananda Maharaj. They're superiors to us. And then we also have some, lower managers that we are following. Then we have Srila Prabhupada there and our Guru Maharaj there, and we are following them. We are learning now how to follow them. So when we come to the spiritual world, we will be following them there. And how we will be acting towards each other so that we can bring more pleasure to Krishna. So we are not training ourselves to do it now here. then I am not sure that we're gonna, when we die, that we're gonna, "Oh, yes, I understand now. I was foolish, but now I know." Well, I'm not sure it works like that. That's why we have to be self-realized. Self-realization means that we actually saw our Swarup. We saw ourselves in our spiritual, pure position, and we are just, just few breaths away, from few thousand breaths away from just going there. We are realizing ourselves in our pure spiritual ego, pure spiritual event. So why I'm saying this also to you, because it was pretty mind blowing for me to understand that today we don't have actually developed ego. We don't have developed. We don't have actually developed understanding or of our roles. That's why ego fights between spouses, between friends, between devotees happen a lot. This world is totally distorted because they don't have the knowledge how to develop our dharmic way of living. And that's why Srila Prabhupada, in the end, first he said, like, just forget this Manashram Dharma, because, yeah, Manashram Dharma is just to develop a strong false ego so you can be sustainable, balanced, you can be well engaged in your nature, temporary nature, and then you can develop the spiritual one. But Srila Prabhupada, in the beginning, he said, like, just skip it, let's go for the pure spiritual, which is good, which is totally fine. And one that were following them and, following Srila Prabhupada, they were fully empowered and they skipped the false ego. And from no ego, they skipped the false ego and they came to the spiritual ego, developing there as eternal servant of Srila Prabhupada. But unfortunately, okay, later on, Prabhupada said, okay, we need to establish this Manashrama because people are falling, because they are not able to sustain themselves on the platform of spiritual understanding and not identify themselves as the body. So, so we have like a really bold movement. Skipping, we are actually, Srila Prabhupada, he was skipping the Manashram to establish Sanas, the Sanatana Dharma. And now, if we really want to kind of scale this up, we have to develop farm communities with one ashrama, establishing false ego of people. Oh, that doesn't sound inspiring, but yeah, it will help them a lot. And of course, in the process, also developing our spiritual ego. So just because we are still yet developing and solidifying our spiritual ego, that's why it is hard for us to actually offer everything to Krishna. Because we are still identifying with all these things. We are still identifying with our temporary nature. And that's why we forget to offer this to Krishna. But think about it. If you are fully established in your sabandha, in spiritual ego, knowing and repeating to yourself constantly that you are a spirit soul, this is what Maha Mantra actually is about, then you will be, it will be like you will be detached. You will be detached from all these things and you will be doing it just because, anyway, it's my duty. So, who cares? let me do it properly. But it's just like a role, not just like doing something before and go to spiritual world. So this is called detachment, and that's why it's really easy to to offer everything to Krishna because we do not identify with this job. We do not actually want anything from this job. We are just doing it because of the duty. We are the mothers because of duty. We are fathers because of duty. We are employees because of duty. We are doing everything for duty. You can see the same thing in the pious kings, Yudhishthir, Bharata, Maharaj. Also, they were doing out of duty, and at the moment they were like, okay, let's leave it, just leave it like they went out of the toilet. Yeah, because like they were like, okay, anyway, I can leave my duty now. This good. Let's go. Let's go do the real thing in the spiritual world with our spiritual. So the devotees is like a big topic. I hope I'll be able to speak more about this false ego and spiritual ego, and how it's actually connected with how deeply and how really seriously we are taking our spiritual life, and so how to proceed forward. Reading a lot, reading a lot. This is what actually this verse is talking about. Speaking about Krishna's Bhagavad Gita instructions, how important it is to remind ourselves constantly, feed our intelligence constantly of sambandha, repeating ourselves again and again. I am not this body, I am not this duty, I'm not mother, father, everything. This is just my temporary role. I am a pure servant of my spiritual master, and I am a servant of a spiritual realm of Krishna. Anyway, so to stop here, because there are a lot of things to side of it, I would like to open for questions, and then I would like to do one japa exercise. I think at the previous classes I was mentioning it, and I would really like to share this with you. It's really powerful, and because it's today's Ekadashi, I think it's really appropriate. Uh, so, Satyabhama, please take it over.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Prabhu. Very nice class about the duty, our duty, and how we should follow our senior devotees. And a few other points you mentioned, that how we should surrender and look up and serve the Lord, and a few other points you mentioned. So thank you so much for your time in class, and it was really coming. It felt like it's coming out from your heart directly. Just very very nice.
I hope so.
From your experience, because you've been serving Guru Maharaj for some time, and I was mentioning other day in the class that we have always seen you as so humble and meek devotee. You always, when you serve a senior
Uh,
devotee, Vaishnav of Maharaj.
I'm yet to understand what I was doing there. I think it's coming back to me. You know? Then I was just like taking it for granted, and now it's like, wow, that was
That was
useful.
something. Yes, very nice. Thank you. Devotees, if you have any questions, comments, realizations, please unmute yourself and ask. Mm, yeah.
How do you see your false ego? like
How do you say?
I like to hear you.
So that's nice. We have quite a few devotees have joined.
You know, it's like one interesting thing about when I was listening to this seminar about false ego. They say that the way how false ego is actually developed is by the way how we associate with others, not so much by knowledge. But let's say if somebody is a senior, you accept him as a senior, as a mentor. How you act towards him and his advices will define your ego. And so many times you can see that if like a junior is defying the senior, even though maybe even if they are wrong, but if they are improperly acted, like improperly defining it, then you can see that they actually start to develop a false conception of themselves, like more independent. And then if they are not corrected, then you can see that little by little they are defining it more and more. So their ego, the conception of themselves, actually start to grow. That I'm more dependent, and at some point they're not able to follow anymore the seniors. Maybe not that senior, but maybe not any other. So it's that's why I took it really serious, even now in the temple. We can say like my authority is not like pure like my spiritual master, but if I don't learn how to satisfy and surrender to my authority, why would I think that I will be able to surrender fully to my spiritual master? Maybe partially, but will I actually know how to fully satisfy and surrender to him? And what about Krishna? I'd be really glad. I think like, yeah, I'm going to surrender to Krishna, but I don't care about devotion to Vaishnavas. I hate Vaishnavas, but I will surrender to Krishna. I don't think that actually works like that.
Yes, that is very true. When we learn to surrender and work in someone's supervision, then only we will. I think this is a practice we are doing it, like a practice before the exam comes. That how do we learn to surrender and perfectly when we go back, because Krishna is the master. We just have to listen to him and follow his advice and follow his whatever he says, and follow the pure devotees, Golok Vrindavan, as well the gopis, and you mentioned about Mother Yashoda, Nand Maharaj. So yes, we have to start, start practicing now only.
With our surrounding devotees, we are practicing how to surrender to as you say, the gopis, the how to surrender to higher authorities, and
Yeah.
then we advance in this because
Advance.
one of the aspects of priyojana, it's interesting. It's not only pure love of God, priyojana, like the end goal. It's actually also knowing how to interact, with Krishna and everyone others, how to have these dealings. This is also one part of the priyojana.
And these dealings can be becomes very complicated sometime, Prabhu, isn't it? Sometime we don't know what to do, what not to do. Like it's really so fine line. And for devotees to keep their etiquettes, to keep their keep their humility, and keep their self-respect, and it just I feel. But yeah, Lord,
Exactly.
when you request the Lord and you help for the guidance, and Krishna from within, or Krishna from hearing the lectures, it helps. Yeah. Devotees
But
in
Bama,
mind. Yeah.
this is a perfect point you said. This is what demons wanted. It's called confusion. And it happens because you don't have the knowledge, but you are put in a situation that you have to act. So then you are just going to bluff it. And because we are confused about our duties, Arjuna was confused about his duties. And this is what actually this whole mess of the world is, because everybody is confused about their duties. And because we do not understand, we are not studying, we're not trying to study and learn. And you believe me, Satyabhama, when Devidasi, when all of us study really carefully the etiquette, and we are practicing it, and we are trying to learn and defining our role. This is the point. In the temple, you have temple president, you have temple commander. I am trying to serve as temple commander, and then you have, brahmachari. So the conflicts happen when I do not understand my role as a temple commander. What is my dharma? What is my duty as a temple commander? If I actually go above that duty or extend it, or if it's not even defined, which most of the cases you just come to a temple and they say you're a temple commander. What does it mean? Oh, you just give services. But it's not only giving services. Should I correct people? Not correct? Who should I correct? How should I correct? What if nobody's replying to me? What then? Like many other things. How about organization? Can I, ask them for, like, should I teach them how to do these things, not things? So we have to actually define our roles. We have defined our dharma. In the Vedic times, it was always defined. You have defined what brahmachari does, what a wife does, what husband does, what children do. It's defined. And
So
and we will not going to escalate this movement if we do not define, if we do not organize ourselves, which means defining who is what and why. And then I know if I need to correct someone, then okay, temple president is correcting people, no problem. I just do the procedure. I don't try to, I don't start getting into conflicts with people. I just do the procedure. Okay, I have to correct this one. I have to do this. I do this. I have no worries whatsoever. I follow the procedure. If something is not clear, we redefine the procedure. That's it.
very true, Prabhu. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. And sometime when we are following the instructions, we should keep our false ego aside as well, as what you said about false ego, that it's always come in between. But yeah, we have to always remember that we need to work on the platform of soul, not the body.
Yes.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you so much,
So,
Prabhu. So we can kick off the
is there any
chanting.
questions?
I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
Okay.
Is there
Perfect.
any question? Okay.
Perfect.
I'm going to switch my camera off because yeah, just the
Let
internet
me.
is.
I would like to do one exercise, if I may.
Yes, please
One
go ahead.
exercise, please. I hope is everyone up to it? Let me just see if there is any some reactions. For this exercise, you would need to really carefully listen, which means that maybe if it's possible, you would stop what you're doing right now, and maybe you will just sit and really, really attentively listen. So let me just see reactions from the devotees. Like, are you okay with that? Okay, I will assume it is. So, what I want you to do, I have one verse. It is actually this verse from this verse we were reading in Sanskrit. And I'm pretty much sure, I hope that you do not know this verse by heart. And that you will actually you have heard this verse for the first time. So when when in the Vedic times, they were not learning by reading, they were learning by listening really carefully and repeating. This is how they actually had a really fine memory. And this is what we are actually doing in chanting as well. So what I want you to do, we're gonna learn this verse by I'm gonna read one line, and I don't want you to remember. I don't want you to try to remember it. I'm not gonna examine you after that. Something that way. I want you to really careful listen and listen and repeat as you just listen and repeat as you heard. If you do not manage to pick up all the words, that means that you are not listening attentively. So then try to hear it more attentively. I will repeat each line 10 times. You know that you have heard it really well when you can repeat it with no problems. Interesting. You're not trying to learn it. You're not trying to learn it. Okay. You don't try to use your brain. Don't try to push your brain. The key things here, just here. No expectations and let yourself go. So let's see how it goes. Okay. So I'm gonna read it line by line. First the first line, then the second line, then the first two line, then the third line, then the fourth line, then the fourth and fifth. Each time I'll read it for 5 times. 5 times. And you just try to repeat it. Not trying to memorize it, just repeat it as you hear it and try to hear it as best as possible. Okay, let's go for it. Evam chintayato jishno. So in this pause, you are trying to repeat it. Evam chintayato jishno. Evam chintayato jishno. Evam chintayato jishno. Evam chintayato jishno. You're just repeating. Okay, nothing else. Krishna pada saroruham. 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 Remember, you will be able to repeat it perfectly if you just really attempt it. Okay, first and second. Evam chintayato jishno Krishna pada saroruham. Evam chintayato jishno Krishna pada saroruham. Evam chintayato jishno Krishna pada saroruham. Evam Chintayato Jishno Krishna Pada Saroruha Auhardena Tigadena Auhardena Tigadena. Just listen and repeat. Auhardena Tigadena. Try to hear it more and Auhardena Tigadena. Take all expressions. Auhardena Tigadena. Canta Sidvi Malamati. Shanta 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 Sidvi Malamati. Auhardena Tikadhena. Shanta Sidvi Malamati. Sauhardena Tikadhena. Shanta Sidvi Malamati. Auhardena Tikadhena. Shanta Sidvi Malamati. Take all restrictions from your head, but you cannot. Auhardena Tikadhena. Shanta Sidvi Malamati. Now the whole verse. Evam Chintayato Jishno Krishna Pada Sarorukam Sauhardena Tigadhena Shanta Sidvi Malamati. Evam Chintayato Jishno Krishna Pada Sarorukam Sauhardena Tigadhena Shanta Sidvi Malamati. Just try to repeat as much as.
Do you want me to share the verse, Prabhu, on the screen?
No,
Which verse is that?
no. This is the same verse that you were doing. Okay, once more. Okay, you just listen and try to just repeat from what you heard. Not trying to remember it or something. You will see how really sublime the text is. Okay, one more time. So let's listen carefully. Evam Chintayato Jishno Krishna Pada Sarorutam Sauhardena Tikadhena Shanta Sidvi Malamati. So, is anyone courageous to try to repeat as much as he remembers from the verse? It doesn't have to be perfect.
Evam Chintayato Jishno Krishna Prasadauraram. So, I forgot the middle lines. Maybe you can
Okay,
help
no
me.
problem. Go for it.
Soharda Sohardanati Gathena Santashid Vimlavatmati.
Oh, amazing. Just from listening.
I couldn't remember.
Just from listening. It's like, wow, great. Anyone else would like to try it out? Don't worry, we are not examining anyone. Just to show yourself how much actually you pick it up without even trying. Maybe Charlotte. I think it's I would like to see. Or who was it? Sateja?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I'll try.
Bravo.
एवं चिन्तयतो जिष्णुं कृष्णपाद सरोरुहम् so about the starting it's like to te gadena and it
Okay.
comes later Shanti Sitvi Malamati.
Okay. Wow. So you were not cheating, right?
No, I was not cheating, but
Very
I'm
nice.
trying
How
to
was it?
recollect.
How was it when you were just trying to listen and just to repeat? How was it?
It was good, like we are testing our capabilities more and more. I mean, I don't know the exact letter, so pronunciation wise, I missed some of the parts, but I think I think we can pick it up like with repetitive practice.
Was it interesting for you that you managed to pick it up just by listening, not even trying to remember it?
Correct.
Isn't it? You were just listening and you were like, yeah, I can remember. I can actually remember it. And now let's do the same thing with Maha Mantra. This is actually the key things. So now let's again, I'm gonna do the Maha Mantra in the same way. Whatever you hear, you have to repeat. Okay, the same way how we were doing this. You're not remembering the verse. You're not okay. I know what people say. Hare Krishna. Okay, people say Hare Krishna. Yeah. Okay, I knew. No, you just hear and repeat like the first time you hear the Maha Mantra. Okay. Let's see the sublime effect of this. Are you ready? So again, just become, inhale, exhale, and whatever you hear, you just repeat. Okay. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Evam Chintayato Jishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, you can stop here. Can anyone tell me how was this Maha Mantra for you?
It was very nice, Prabhu. Very nice. Thank you.
So what is the difference between this Maha Mantra? Yes?
Hare
Sorry,
Krishna,
who was it?
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. But you sing Eva Jishtam Darudishta in between.
Yes. I did it just because if we are now actually expecting Maha Mantra, So I did this on purpose. So Charlotte, tell me, how did you find this Maha Mantra? Was it nicer? Was it nice?
Yes, I always like Maha Mantra chanting. Yes.
So what is the thing about this? We didn't expect what's gonna happen. We were actually in the moment. You were just listening, speaking, listening and speaking. We didn't expect that. Oh yes, after Hare Krishna comes another Hare Krishna, and then a Krishna Krishna. And one thing that you maybe noticed, that this Maha Mantra was really fresh. It was actually really nice. It feels like it's the first time you hear Maha Mantra. Because this is what they say, that Maha Mantra is always fresh. Because we are not hearing it with expectations. We are not doing it in a hurry. We are actually just listening. Actually, Maha we are chanting. We are saying it, just listening. And if you are just doing it like this, word by word, Maha Mantra by Maha Mantra, piece by piece, just hear it, say it, hear it, say it, hear it. You do not try to think about it, analyze it, remember it, predict it. This is it. This is offenseless chanting. It's not pure because it's still not with devotion, but it's offenseless. So in this way, when I did this exercise with actually it was one young person just came to our temple for a program, for Be a Monk challenge for 3 days, and we did this exercise. He was actually just learning Sanskrit by just by hearing, and I noticed how much, because I was doing the exercise as well, how much it helped me in my chanting, and I was enjoying chanting a lot. So, in conclusion, this more exercise brought us back to a moment where we were not using our brain so much. We were just absorbed in whatever we were hearing and repeating it. And we try to do this more in chanting, and I hope it will skyrocket.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Thank you. So I think we can, should we conclude here, Prabhu? It's about an hour.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thanks everyone for joining. Thank you so much, Rishabh Prabhu, for your time and association. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavbhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki.
Bless me so I can do lots of Sakrit and hearing English. I need your blessings.
We need your blessings as well, Prabhu. Here in London, all the devotees are doing book distribution. Please bless us.
Let's do big or both, all of us.
Yes, yes. Please pray for all of us. Yes, thank you. I will do that too. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Krishna.